Welcome back. Today I am going to give you a whole recap of the chapter Reaping Gold from Soil, which we have discussed so far. First, we have discussed about the factors needed for good yield. So students, what are the factors needed for good yield? Yes, fertile soil, favorable climate, quality seeds and planting materials, proper nurturing, and availability of sunlight. Then, what are the qualities essential for a plant from which seeds are collected? Yes, the seeds must be collected from a healthy plant, the plant which gives quick and high result, and the fruit that forms in midspan. Talking about seeds, some seeds are sowing first, and when they are sprouted, it is transplanted. This happens when the seeds are too small, like chili, tomato, and spinach. Some seeds are directly planted. Example, pumpkin, cucumber, and lady's finger, because we can identify whether the seeds are good or bad. So, new plantlets are developed in plants by two methods. What are they? Yes, the first one is sexual reproduction, in which new plantlets are produced from seeds. Example, pumpkin, chili, cucumber, and lady's finger. The next one is vegetative propagation. It is the formation of new plantlets from parts like root, stem, and leaves. From root, curry leaves. From stem, rose. From leaves, bryophyllum. And from underground stem, ginger. Next, we have discussed about the new methods in vegetative propagation. And the first one is layering. It is a method of growing roots on a branch of a parent plant and removing the part after the growth of roots. In it, we have discussed about how layering is done, the advantages and disadvantages of layering, and also about ground layering. The second method is grafting. It is a method of producing superior quality plantlets by joining the stem of two plants of same species. The rooted plant selected for grafting is stock, and the branch selected for grafting is scion. In it, we have discussed about how grafting is done in plants. The third method is budding. It is a method of producing a plantlet by fixing the bud of a plant of one species to the stem of the plant of same species. In it, we have discussed how budding is done in plants. For combining the desired qualities of plants of same species, we use a method called hybridization. That is, it is a method of producing new seeds through artificial pollination between plants of same species but different characters. So students, do you remember the hybrid varieties of coconut? Paddy, green chilli, lady's finger, brinjal, and tomato. It is very important. Then, what should be made possible in agriculture sector? Yes, high yield, quick yield, resistance to infections, lower nurturing cost, and availability of quality seeds. It is made possible with the help of agricultural research institutes. Kerala Agricultural University Mannuthi, Central Tuber Crops Research Institute Srikaryam, Indian Institute of Spice Research Kozhikode, Rubber Research Institute of India Kottayam, and Central Plantation Crops Research Institute Kasaragod. These are the some of the agricultural research institutes in our state. Even if we use quality planting materials, the yield may not be good if the soil is not fertile. So, to increase the fertility of soil, deposit plant debris into the soil, and when they decomposes into the soil, the fertility increases. The more diverse the plant debris that decomposes into the soil, the higher the fertility of soil. For that, to make maximum diversity in our farm, we include crop rotation and intercrop. First one is intercrop. Short-term crop cultivated along the main crop in such a way that they do not harm the main crop is intercropping. Vegetables are cultivated along with paddy cultivation is an example. Through intercropping, we can increase the fertility of soil. The next one is crop rotation. Cultivating a different crop instead of crop cultivated earlier is crop rotation. Pea is cultivated after paddy cultivation is an example for crop rotation. So students, do you remember the advantages of crop rotation and intercrop? It is very important. Next we have discussed about leguminous plants. Pea, horse gram, black gram are examples for leguminous plants. Rhizobium bacterium are present in the nodes of roots in leguminous plants. They can absorb atmospheric nitrogen into nitrate and keeps them in their roots. When they decay, the plant nutrients are added into the soil. The crops of next season can utilize this. So, next we have discussed about biopesticides. Pesticides obtained from naturally occurring substances to control pests is biopesticides. The commonly used biopesticides are tobacco decoction, neem cake and neem oil emulsion. The next one is biofertilizers. Biofertilizers helps to increase the fertility of soil and they boost the amount of organic matter. Examples: cow dung, green manure, fish manure, bone meal, poultry droppings and goat droppings. Do you remember what is drip irrigation? Yes, dripping water at the plant at regular interval is drip irrigation. Next we have discussed about the crops other than food crops. Cotton, jute and coir are the three crops we have studied. And the last topic in our chapter is integrated farming. Farming practice that involves different areas of work like agriculture and animal husbandry is integrated farming. Placing duck coop over fish pond is an example for integrated farming. Agriculture and cattle rearing are integrated farming methods that exist traditionally. In this chapter, we have studied so many technologies that we can adopt in our farm. So students, our first chapter has completed and I think you got a clear idea about new trends in agriculture. Thank you.